Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Absolutely Podcast, the podcast specifically designed to help women defeat diet culture and live their dream healthy lifestyle. Today's episode, I'm going to be talking about the concept of listening to your body versus making excuses. And this might be a controversial one. This might ruffle some feathers because I honestly think a lot of people use the term listening to their body to make excuses for themselves on their fitness journey. So, I'm going to be talking about how to differentiate whether you are truly listening to your body and the times you should take those warning signs and maybe take a day off. Or if you're using that as an excuse. And this might be a reality check for some people because I obviously work with a lot of ladies, and sometimes they use that as an excuse to not push themselves in the gym, to not eat healthy. And I think it is a problem in today's society. And I think, yes, you should listen to your body and you should be in tune with your body and what it is telling you. However, you shouldn't use that as an opportunity to slack on your goals either. So that is what I'm going to be talking about today. But before I do that, I want to do a little life update. I've been loving just chit-chatting with you all for the first 10 to 15 minutes just about my life. And I always apologize for this. And you know what? One of the things my sister has been saying to me this week is don't be sorry, be fierce. So I'm not going to apologize for talking about my life. But if you want to skip forward 10 to 15 minutes, I will not be mad if you want to just listen to the episode part of the things when I talk about all the information stuff. But you know what? I have fun chatting about my life. So, pretty much the only thing that has happened since we last chatted, I'll just kind of do a weekly recap and weekend recap because it was a pretty fun weekend. My sister was in town until Saturday morning. So Friday night, I had a dinner planned with me, my sister, and my boyfriend, and we went to this restaurant called L'Amour in Paradise Valley here in Scottsdale. And I love this restaurant. One thing I have realized about my family and myself is that we love going to places that have like kind of a quirk about them. And this place definitely has a quirk about it. It is, first of all, like a really great Italian restaurant. It's super yummy. If you ever come to Scottsdale, totally recommend. But there are so many old people that go here. It's literally all old people. And it's just kind of like a funny vibe. It's definitely like family run. The man that owns the place is like coming around to you. It's definitely like old Italian vibes and it's so good. But everyone there is super old. When I tell you we got there at 7:30, we had a 7:30 reservation. We pretty much shut the place down by 9 p.m. And it was great. We were ordering martinis, we were ordering wine. Definitely got a little tipsy at dinner, which was honestly fun. We just chatted and stuff at dinner, and the food was so good. I am literally still thinking about the chicken parm I had. I was obsessed with it. And I think that chicken parm is becoming my favorite meal to get at an Italian restaurant. I don't know if it was on my fear food list or whatever, but I used to like avoid chicken parm at all costs, which I don't know why. I would just typically order like a shrimp scampi or something like that. And lately I've been doing the chicken parm when I get Italian, and I have just been obsessed with it. It's so good. And this one in particular, it was so hot, like temperature wise, when it came out. And one thing about me is that if your food comes out super hot, like that immediately adds like 10 bonus points to my Yelp review. And so it was so good. I like pretty much ate the whole thing. It was fabulous. And the vibes were just funny in there. Again, there's a couple of places that we go in Scottsdale for like funny vibes. That one is one of them because everyone is just like super old in there. Nothing wrong with that. It's just funny that we're like so young in there, and then like super good food and whatever. And then we also go to Eddie V's, which is also a really good restaurant. It's in Scottsdale Quarter, but just like the weirdest people go there. I guess it's a place where a lot of people go like to get like sugar daddies or whatever. Like whenever we're there, I at least see like three gals that are my age on a date with like a 7-year-old man, which like no judgment. If that is what you like to do whatever you want to do. But it's just like such good people watching. And they always have a band there too playing, and these people will start dancing and stuff, these old couples, and the waitress will be like, oh my gosh, like they have been coming in here for 10 to 15 years and they come in every single week and do the dance together. And it's just like people watching, but really, really good food. So I'm not going to go someplace just to people watch if the food sucks. So that's one thing about me as well. But Friday night we did that. And then we came home and we watched Love Island, and it was so good. I have been in a Love Island show hole. I have been obsessed with Love Island, and I'm obsessed with Leah. I'm obsessed with Rob. I'm obsessed with everyone. Not obsessed in a good way, just like obsessed in like a, ooh, like just love to kind of see the crime scene unfold. I'm going to be so sad when it's over though, because it's been such a good season, and I haven't watched Love Island since the season with like Ekin-Su and Davide and those people. That was the UK version. I've never watched the US version. And so it's been really fun to just like be really in the know. And I love how it's so current. Like they're literally on the island right now. Like they don't even know. Like it's crazy to me that like they don't even know like Trump got like shot. That was another thing that happened on Saturday, Sunday. But when it happened, I was at the gym and all of a sudden everyone was going up to the TVs. I'm like, what happened? And my sister texted me. That was like a crazy occurrence on Saturday. I don't know, just pray for our country. There's just a lot of things going on, and it's just scary times right now. But anyways, I'm gonna be really sad when Love Island is over. Great segue from those two topics, but there's not really good way to segue from that. Sunday I went to the golf simulator with my boyfriend, and it was fun. I am so excited for it to not be like just so freaking hot here. It has just been ungodly hot here right now. Like we were moving some stuff for my sister yesterday, and we were just like walking around the quarter in Scottsdale, and it just was so hot. I'm not complaining. I love the 8 months out of the year that it is fabulous, and that I don't ever have to really be cold. That is amazing. But for the first 3 months in the summer, it's a little bit rough. So we went to the golf simulator though, and it was super fun. We went to this place that had like food and drinks and stuff, and was also had a golf simulator in it. And I need to start practicing again. I'm excited for the weather to get nicer again, because I've definitely not been playing as much, and I can definitely feel it. But it's okay. We had a fun time, and honestly, like I just have been exhausted lately. Like I think that part of it was like traveling last week, and then just kind of helping moving, and just also running a business and all of the things. So I'm trying to give myself some grace about that. And that also kind of goes hand in hand with the listening to your body episode here. But I just have been exhausted. I've been a sleepy girl, and it has been nice to just like go to bed early and stuff. And I just needed a chill day on Sunday, and that's kind of what we did. And then on Tuesday, my parents and my sister drove down from Utah, and they drove 2 cars down because my parents wanted to have another car down here. But anyways, their truck broke down in the middle of nowhere, so that was bad. And I guess when their truck broke down, my sisters were like all sad about them breaking down, but they made it. They had the part replaced. AAA came to the rescue. That is why it's awesome to have some sort of like thing for in an emergency when that does happen. But of course, like just literally the worst time to break down. It's like 100 degrees. You're stuck out in the middle of Arizona. But everything ended up working out okay. They got here. My sister is all moved in, and I am so excited. We've already like gotten coffee a couple of times, and it just is so surreal that she's now going to be living down here full time. Like we were at dinner last night, and I turned to her and was like, yeah, Sunday, like, let's go to church. And she looked at me with this kind of blank stare. She's like, oh my gosh, I forgot. I'm not leaving. Like, this is going to be my home, and we can go to church together. So it's definitely really exciting. And she now is all settled, and I'm really happy about it too. I feel like there's just been like moving just a lot for like the past 2 weeks, but moving states is hard. And especially, if you're taking multiple loads down or whatever. So anyways, enough about moving. I think I've said that 1,000 times. Last night we went out to dinner, my family and I, and it was so good. We went to Buck and Ryder in North Scottsdale, and it was fabulous. I've only been there once, and this time I had one of like the best steaks I've had in a long time. And we got dirty martinis. That was one thing I like was really looking forward to. I have been obsessed with dirty martinis now for like over a year. And what my order is, my dirty martini, if you are curious, is I get a dirty martini with kettle and blue cheese olives. And kettle is the vodka, if you in case you were like, what the heck is a kettle? Kettle vodka. And so that's what I have been getting for the past year. But last night, my dad goes, let's get Belvedere tonight. And that's obviously like a little bit nicer of a vodka. Oh my gosh, I think my head has been turned. Love Island reference. My head has been turned to Belvedere because it was so good, so much more smooth. It was almost like a little bit vanilla-y. But the key to the martini is number one, it has to have an ice skating rink on top. If I'm looking at my martini and it doesn't have an ice skating rink on top with little shards of ice, I don't want it. Number two, has to be cold enough. That comes with the ice skating rink. Number three, blue cheese olives immediately add 3 extra points to your martini. So that immediately does it. And then obviously need to have enough of the dirty, but not too much where it's too dirty. So it's a little bit of a math equation. And that's what's fun about it, is that martinis at each different place have a little bit of a different flavor. My best martini I have had ever in Scottsdale and just in life is at Mastro's and at Dominic's. So if you ever want like the best martini of your life where you literally are obsessed and just absolutely love it, Mastro's or Dominic's, obviously a little bit pricey and expensive, but so worth it. And they bring out the shaker cup with it. So you have the shaker cup with you and you have the martini. And let me just tell you, you only need one of those. You only need one of those. Last night I had 2 martinis because they were a little bit smaller, but I probably only needed 1 too. But you know what? We were celebrating. We were celebrating the move and it was fabulous. So that brings me to today. It's Thursday and your girl is on her second cup of coffee. Last night I came home a little tipsy and my dog, I felt bad for him because he'd been in his crate all day because I've been like helping moving and stuff. Not his crate. I have like a little pen for him. He has some space. Okay. Archie lives the life of luxury. But I felt kind of bad, and so I let him snuggle in my bed. And I typically don't let my dog sleep with me because he's a little fidgeter. But last night I was just feeling it. I was like, "Oh, buddy!" So I let him snuggle with me, and he goes underneath the covers and sleeps there all night. I don't know how he does it. He loves though sleeping underneath the covers. It is so weird. But he immediately fell asleep, and then he did wake up at 4, and I did put him in his pen, but. Anyways, I'm a little tired today, needless to say. And also, I just feel like by Thursday, I'm already just tired as it is. But moving, the heat, just overall, everything is taking a toll on your girl. But anyways, I had to show up for the Absolutely podcast, of course. And now that I have done my whole weekly recap, I'm trying to think this weekend. I honestly just want it to be super chill. I'm going to be helping my sister go to a couple of outlets and get some accessories and stuff. So I'll probably end up getting a couple of things for myself as well. But it should be a pretty chill rest of the week, which I am excited about. I can't wait. But now that I've done my life update, I am going to get into the bulk of the podcast episode on listening to your body versus making excuses. And like I said, this might ruffle some feathers. So if it does, my DMs are open. You're open to have a conversation with me. But I think that the trend of listening to your body has gotten a little bit too out of hand, and people have started to use it as an excuse to not work towards their health and fitness goals. And I think that listening to your body is such an asset. I think it's such a tool. But in order to listen to your body truthfully, you have to be really good at it. And you have to be good about differentiating whether you're making an excuse for yourself or you are truly listening to your body. Because let me tell you, I have been in the position of saying to myself, I'm just going to listen to my body today and rest. When in reality, I know that like I'm fine and I should probably get my ass to the gym. For instance, like if I am hungover, yeah, I don't feel great and I don't necessarily want to work out. And my Oura ring probably says you need to take a rest day. But that's a situation where I'm like, you know what? I'm still going to get it done. Yes, if I truly was like, I need to listen to my body and not work out because I do feel hungover, I wouldn't be getting to my goals. And it's not like I'm hungover every night or anything. That's just one example. But I'm still getting it done. Like if I listen to my body, I would sit there on the couch and watch Love Island all day and not care. I'm getting up and I'm also planning my week in accordance to, okay, when are the days, maybe on Friday, like I know I'm going to dinner and I'm going to have a few drinks, like probably on Saturday, like I don't want to do a big giant leg day, right? Like I am planning my weeks taking that into account. So if you can do that and you know, like, hey, when I'm listening to my body, when I'm hungover, like I don't like to work out, like don't plan a workout for that day that you intentionally miss because you're hungover. I still make it such a non-negotiable for myself when I am drinking to get a workout in the next day, no matter what. Just because like that's not an excuse. Like I intentionally drink. Like that doesn't mean I'm going to then let that day turn into just a free for all of not working out, eating like crap, and just letting it turn into a spiral. So that's just one example, is like the hungover example. But as far as like listening to your body goes, I think some good rules of thumb is like, if you truly feel super unwell, like you're feeling dizzy, your cramps are debilitating, like if you are having like you're coughing up a lung, you're having diarrhea, you're throwing up, like obviously listen to your body and don't go to the gym. I have some clients that like feel really guilty when they do miss a workout because they're sick. And I used to be in that camp as well. Like when I used to miss a workout, I would absolutely freak out because I would think I was going to lose all my progress. I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel myself coming down with a little sniffly cold. Like I'm not going to be able to resume my cut. Like everything's going to go to crap. Do not work out when you are sick. If you are feeling awful because you are ill, number one, no one wants you at the gym. No one wants your illness. Okay. Have we learned nothing from COVID? I don't know. Number two, your body doesn't need to work out when it's sick. If you are sick and then you are working out on top of that, you're adding more stress onto your body. Working out is a stressor on your body. So when you are already stressed, your body is already stressed from trying to recover from a sickness, and then you add on top of that, you're working out, you're just going to feel more like crap, and it's actually going to take your body longer to heal. So when a client comes to me and they are genuinely sick, they're throwing up, they're coughing, whatever, I tell them, please, please, please take the next few days off of working out until you're feeling better and then start easing back into it. Like the last thing your body needs or wants to do is build muscle and lose body fat when you are super ill. Like your body does not want that, and it will actually take you longer to heal, causing you to actually probably lose progress because now you've taken a 1 week sickness that would have been in and out of your system in 1 week into a 2-3 week sickness because you've been inflicting some stress onto your body. So when you are sick, don't work out. Like please listen to your body and do not go to the gym, and don't get everyone else sick. Okay? We don't want to be in on your sickness either. Sometimes though, like if you are sick and maybe it's just like a kind of a sniffly cold, like I think that's an okay time to go to the gym. Like if you're on the tail end of your sickness, maybe you're broke your fever, you're okay now, like that's a time where I would say start easing back to the gym. Like don't listen to your body to the ultimate, like, oh, I have a little bit of a sniffle, I can't go to the gym. Like no, that's probably a circumstance you're like, okay, like let's get to the gym. Maybe if I have a little bit of like a baby headache, I'll go to the gym. Okay. That's one circumstance if I'm like, oh, I'm going to listen to my body on every single little minute thing that would cause me to lose my progress. Like, for instance, this past month, I've had some headaches. I've had some period cramps. And if I took all of that time off from the gym, like, that is not necessary. And that would be honestly overkill when it comes to like listening to your body. I think that is erring on the side of just making excuses. Like, if you have cramps, super, super, super bad where you're to the point of like throwing up, passing out, like obviously don't go to the gym. But for instance, like on day 3 of my period, if I had like a little bit of a cramp, I will go to the gym. I will not use that as like I just need to listen to my body, I'm not going to go to the gym because I have a tiny bit of a cramp. Like, no, get your butt to the gym. Another thing I will do is like if I'm feeling tired, I'll still go to the gym, and maybe I just won't push 100%. And the reason for this is that a lot of times movement will actually help you feel less tired and exhausted. First of all, like you should be prioritizing your sleep, and you shouldn't be feeling tired all the time. And if you are, it means that you have a sleep issue and you have a time management issue. And you should, yes, be listening to your body, but you shouldn't be not sleeping. Like get enough sleep in so you aren't having a bunch of these days where you're like, I'm just so tired, I need to listen to my body, I didn't sleep a lot last night. Like that's the problem. The problem is that you're not sleeping enough and you're feeling tired from that. So for instance, like today I'm feeling a little tired. I gotta admit, I just didn't sleep very good because I had a couple of drinks and I just never sleep as good after that. So I'm gonna go to the gym still today. I'm not gonna like say, oh, I'm like too tired, I'm just gonna listen to my body and stay home. I'm gonna go to the gym, but maybe I'm not gonna be able to push like 100%. Same thing goes like if I have some cramps, if I'm not feeling my best, if maybe I have a little sniffle, like I'm going to the gym, but maybe I'm just not pushing my 100%. Like I'm just going to the gym to move my body. I'm not necessarily going to the gym to get this crazy intense workout in. I'm more so going to the gym to just get some movement in, because a lot of times that can actually make you feel a lot better. And if you just stayed at home and you were like, oh, I'm just going to listen to my body and stay home, like you might continue to feel low energy. Whereas if you get out, you go to the gym, you go on a walk, something like that is going to do a lot of positive things for you. And just know, like, there are so many different forms of movement that you can do. Like, if you're not feeling great, like, for instance, if I have a really intense day of cramping, like, maybe I'll hop on my walking pad for 15 minutes. Maybe I'll do a little bit of a stretching session. Like, I think that movement is medicine most of the time. And sitting on your butt and laying in bed and being like, oh, I'm just going to listen to my body today. Like, a lot of times that doesn't do the best thing for your body. Yes, if you are feeling so unwell and you're passing out and you feel terrible, don't go to the gym. Like, don't even get a walk in. Like, lay in bed. Like, that is okay. I'm not telling the girls that are like have a terrible thing going on to get to the gym. That's the last thing we want. We don't want a medical emergency at the gym. We want to be that girl. But you also don't need the girl that for literally every single minute inconvenience is saying, I need to listen to my body. That's when it becomes that side of making excuses. You know, when there's like that TikTok audio with Kourtney Kardashian where she's like, oh, like my toe hurts, and like all these like little minute inconveniences. Like, don't let those minute inconveniences turn into multiple days off, because that can cause you to lose progress if you are all the time making an excuse for not going to the gym. One thing that has been like kind of a recent thing for me is that if my Oura ring tells me to rest, like I'm not gonna rest if I feel fine. Like if I feel totally fine, I'm not gonna take a rest day. And sometimes it can be humbling. You wake up and you're like, oh my gosh, I got the best night of sleep ever. And then you look at your Oura ring and it's humbles you quickly, saying, girl, what happened last night? I'm like, literally nothing. I thought I got a good night of sleep. Like, don't let that criticize you as well and like cause you to spiral and think like, oh my gosh, do I not feel good? Like, listen to your body. If you're feeling like you're having high energy and your Oura ring or your Apple Watch or your Garmin or whatever tells you that you need to rest, like it doesn't mean you have to rest. Like, that's where listening to your body as well is important. On the opposite side of the spectrum of, I actually feel really good, like I don't need to rest. And I'm honestly never taking that like completely Bible. I am taking it with a grain of salt when my Oura ring says I should rest. Just because I know my body well. And when you are in a really good spot with listening to your body and you know when you're making an excuse and a BS excuse for yourself versus when you're not, that's when it really is powerful, because you know the days you truly need to rest. And I think a big thing too is like hedging against that. Like, I used to work out 6-7 days a week and never took a day off. So of course I was feeling exhausted and pushing through that. And that's not good. If you are working out a manageable amount, you're working out 3 to 5 times per week, you're getting a step goal in, you're not doing a crazy amount of cardio, like you shouldn't have a ton of days where you're like feeling physically exhausted. Like, you should never be feeling physically exhausted if you are doing a manageable amount of workouts per week and you're, doing your 9 to 5 on top of that or whatever. Like, of course, if you have an external thing happening in your life, like for instance, like helping out with moving or traveling, like that's obviously going to make you more tired. Like, those are things that obviously are external, but like on the day to day, like you should never be feeling just like completely gassed. Like, if you are, it probably means that you're overtraining and maybe you're under eating and not managing your stress right. So hedging against the things and leaning into that, it's like, okay, I'm taking a lot of days off from working out and I'm feeling really tired. Like, why is that? And a lot of times it's because you're overdoing it, you're not sleeping enough, you're not eating enough, you're in a calorie deficit, you're burning the midnight oil. Like, of course your body is not going to love that and feel really good and feel super high in energy, right? So do the things also in your power to take care of yourself, so that way you aren't having to be like, oh my gosh, I feel terrible today, like I don't want to go to the gym. Like, we should feel like, ooh, I'm excited to go to the gym. Like, that's something that is a good part of my day, right? That's not a part of the day that feels like such a chore. Like, moving your body is such a blessing, and it's something that like you shouldn't feel like, oh, I need to listen to my body and not work out. Like, you should feel like, okay, I feel really great and I want to work out, right? um Another thing as well is like, if you are letting your whole week of your period, this is for the girls, if you're letting your whole week of your period be a week off from you for working out, that's going to be hard to make progress. But like at the bottom line of things, like, yes, we're girls, and yes, we're going to have weeks that we don't feel great because of our hormones, and that's just part of girlhood. Yay. But we shouldn't be letting that be an excuse for the whole week to be a free for all and eating whatever you want and not working out. Like, if you are using that every single month as an excuse to do those things, you're not going to make progress. Like, I will say that. Like, if you're using it as a week to eat all the crumble cookies and never work out and just kind of be a lazy bum, like, it's going to be really hard to see the results that you want. Yes, like during your period week, I recommend to my clients, like, if you're having a day where you feel like you're going to faint from cramping, like, don't go to the gym, but plan ahead for that. Know, like, okay, when I'm going into the week, like for instance with my period week, I know on day one, like, probably getting a full workout in and pushing myself to the nth degree is not going to work out very well. So that's something I will plan ahead for, but I'm still getting movement in. And if I feel like I'm going to pass out from cramping, I'm not going to the gym either, right? Like, you need to plan ahead for these things. And for my clients as well, if they know that they crave a lot of sugary foods during their period week or whatever, like, I say to incorporate that. Like, if you want to have a crumble cookie that week, maybe get a crumble and track that in your calories. Like, that is totally okay. Just don't use it as a week to have a free for all. And it's just gonna be really hard to make progress if you are using every single month as that week to just go all ham. And it also leads me to believe that we need to do some work on your hormones as well and some work on your routine during that week. There's something you can do during that week, right? Like, you don't need to take the week off. And I think that kind of leads into like an excuse. I gotta be honest with that. And you know what? I don't care if it ruffles some feathers over here, but that's kind of all the points I have to make, honestly, on listening to your body versus making excuses. I think once you just are real with yourself, and if you have a day where you're like, oh, I'm just going to listen to my body, not work out, like, really second guess yourself and ask yourself, like, do I truly feel like crap? Or am I letting this hold me back and become an excuse? Because imagine all the days, if you're a person that likes to use that a lot and you're like, you're listening to your body a whole lot, you should ask yourself, like, second guess yourself and think, okay, do I feel actually like I need to take a day off, or am I just wanting to take a day off? And if you're at the other side of the spectrum of never listening to your body and continuing to push, think about how we can plan your week a little bit better so you are working out less and stuff, and eliminating some stress as well. So there's definitely two sides of the spectrum. I have been on both sides of the spectrum and I have experienced both. And it is hard to really nail when you are truly listening to your body, but it's such a magical thing when you do trust yourself and you know when you need to take a day off. I will tell you, like, I'm more on the side of the spectrum of like, I'll push through when I feel like shit and I know that's not good, but I've gotten to a point where I am really good about navigating, like, okay, Abby, I don't feel my best today. Maybe I go to the gym and I do 50%. Maybe I just go to the gym and do a walk. Maybe I just get a walk in outside. I think movement is medicine, though, at the end of the day. And I think that it's been too normalized to just sit around. Like, let's still eat healthy. Let's still control the controllables, even when we are not feeling our best. And there's so many things you can do when you're not feeling your best. Like, I have a client right now that had some like back pain, and then she like hurt her ankle, and it's just like been thing after thing. And we're just focusing on the things that she can control. She can control nutrition. She can control her sleep. She can control her water. And she's been able to lose weight while not working out, right? So there's so many other things that you can do to not fall into that all or nothing of like, okay, I can't be my 100%, so I'm just gonna be my 0%. Like, that is not real. Think about, I like the analogy of, if you got a flat tire, this is great. Brings us all full circle with my parents' car right now. But if you got a flat tire in your car, would you get out and slash all the other three tires? Or would you repair that one tire and keep going? Same principle for listening to your body, right? You got to listen to what everything else is telling you, not just that one tire. So anyways, that is the whole episode for today. Hopefully you all enjoyed. I really enjoyed talking about this, honestly, more than I thought I would. And make sure to like, comment, subscribe, whatever platform you are on. I really, really appreciate good ratings and reviews. That helps me out so much with my podcast. And exciting announcement, I'm going to be sharing this next week on my Instagram page, but I am opening up 3 roster spots specifically for women over 40 to help them reset their metabolism. So if that is you and you want to get in on that before that announcement even goes out, I am anticipating it's going to fill up really, really quickly. So I'm going to put the application in the description as well. So if that is you and you want to reset your metabolism, lose 10 to 15 pounds, I'm your girl, and these spots are going to go really quick. So if you want that, putting that in the description. But I will chat with you all next week, and hopefully everyone has a great weekend or whenever you're listening to this. Bye.